who can be acting president. That is in the law anyway, right? In the Constitution, so it is possible.
Yes, theoretically, what would occur then is that succession law, or the laws on who will succeed the president in the event of a vacuum, will take place. And hindi na election law, kundi succession ang magte-take over dahil hindi nagkaroon ng election. This is something that we really do not want to happen, but theoretically, indeed, this could occur. And any of the senators who are able to sit until 2025 could possibly be elected as Senate President. Pero sana hindi ito mangyari. Alam na natin na napakahirap ng panahon. Meron pang Omicron ulit, na COVID na tayo, pagkatapos tinamaan pa ng Odette at sari-saring mga pinsala. This is really the time for credible and strong and united leadership. We simply cannot afford to defer the election against the Constitution.
Agreed. The elections must push through May 9, 2022. Your brother, former Senator Bongbong Marcos, has been doing very well in pre-campaign surveys. Do you think this is going to hold when the campaign, whatever form it takes, depending on the pandemic? Will this kind of survey ranking still hold during the campaign?
Well, as I've said before, these surveys come as a complete, if pleasant, surprise to all of us. We are humbled by the extraordinary support that my brother has received. But like you said, anything can happen in an election. And certainly, this is the first national election we are conducting under pandemic conditions. Even the COMELEC, it's still a work in progress, exactly what will be done and what will be allowed, because the Omicron, for example, has become a game changer and has literally become so infectious that perhaps these campaign activities that we are so traditionally accustomed to cannot be embarked upon any longer.
And of course, everybody's hoping for a good voter turnout, kahit papaano. But like you said, COMELEC still working on this para nga matuloy at hindi ma-frustrate ang will ng taong bayan. But I wanted to ask also, because you say your brother's performance in the surveys has come as a pleasant surprise to you. But what do you think? I'm sure you guys, your family has been talking about this, the campaign, the Marcos Duterte campaign. Why is he doing well in pre-campaign surveys? Is it because there is this so-called nostalgia for the Marcos years, which, marami ding galit sa ganoon, yung mga people who don't like you, who don't like your family and don't believe in your father. Is it, as one analyst has said, is it democracy fatigue? Pagod na ang tao sa demokrasya, which is kind of insulting also to your family, because parang they think that you are anti-democratic, right? Or is it also the feeling, is it a Pinoy thing na ang gusto ng tao mag-ama na presidente? So may Diosdado Macapagal, may Gloria Macapagal, or mag-ina na naging Pangulo, may Cory Aquino, may Noynoy Aquino. What is it? Why is he doing so well in surveys?
Well, I think perhaps there is some nostalgia for a simpler and more prosperous time. We've been through a hellish 20-odd months, and no one can be blamed for wishing things were better. On the other hand, I truly believe that history judges you over the long haul. And the long haul has been almost 40 years. Biglang siguro na re-realize rin natin at napapakinabangan pa rin natin lahat ang mga iba't ibang project ng tatay ko. Biglang naaalala. For example, central to the effort against COVID has really been the fight in the medical sphere. And so many of the hospitals, very simply, were set up during my dad's administration. Even the RITM for infectious tropical disease, even the different lung, kidney, heart centers. Suddenly, they've become center stage, particularly the PGH, for example, where my mother was so deeply involved.
Senator Amy, I can hear ngayon pa lang plenty of reactions, both good and bad, to what you're saying right now. But we're running out of time, so I'm going to make this as short as possible. No,
but totally understand that. I am simply not the best judge. I am hardly,
Yeah.
hardly detached. So I think some better political analysts should analyze what's happening exactly now. As I said time and again, this has come as a surprise to us, no matter how pleasant.
Okay. Another surprise, of course, political surprise, is that, syempre, people are saying talagang namamayagpag ang mga Marcos because your son Matthew running for re-election as governor of Ilocos Norte, Sandro Marcos, Bongbong's son, running for congressman, and both running against a Fariñas, no? So Matthew being challenged by Manong Rudy Fariñas, Sandro running against Ria Fariñas, and then you're practically knocking at the gates of Malacanang. Was there this, and very quickly, I know we don't have time. Was there this conscious effort by your family, because a lot of people claim this is what you did, no, to rebrand yourself so that you would be, that you could get back into Philippine society, into Philippine politics? Meron bang ganon, nag-rebranding kayo or something?
Sa palagay ko, hindi naman talagang conscious effort or even any attempt at revisionism. I think all along, my brother and I have been working very quietly, very steadily at the different posts that we have held, whether as senator in his case, in my case, as governor, as congressman. We've just been plugging along, and perhaps the time has come because it's been over 30 years, and perhaps we have more perspective, more distance, and the points of view have changed. I think it's also been a question of our failure to tell our side of the story, not because we know better or that we want to pick a fight, but simply because the media has been so difficult in the past. We never really spoke up, and I think it's our duty to at least talk about the things that happened as we personally saw them, as we experienced them. This has been our failure, and certainly we should also tell our side of the story so that the new generations will hear a well-rounded version of history.
I can hear the reaction on social media right now. But anyway, Senator Amy Marcos, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Hope to see you again and your brother on the show very soon. Salamat. Thank you for being with us.
Yes,
more about the
very
latest
much.
in 2022 when we return. This is Politics as Usual. Like I said earlier on the show, babalikan po natin si COMELEC spokesperson James Jimenez, Chairman Sharif Abbas, Commissioner Rowena Guanzon, and Antonio Co are stepping down very soon. Meron na po ba tayong idea, no? Sino ba yung papalit, or kung walang mga pangalan, if you don't want to share that with us, ano yung mga kailangan ng COMELEC? Abogado ba? IT expert ba? Manager? Someone who can, run things on the ground?
Well, sa ngayon, wala naman tayong idea kung sinong ipapalit ng Pangulo, no? And it's always been that way. The President really doesn't tell the COMELEC kung sinong gusto nilang gawin. I suppose at some point they will probably consult with the sitting commissioners, but again, all of that ultimately nasa prerogative ng Pangulo kung sinong i-appoint niya. Kung ano ang kailangan ng komisyon, well, that's a very good question. Marami nagsasabi, kailangan namin ng mga taong merong skills sa management at siguro sa pag-organize ng mga malawakang paggalaw ng mga tao at equipment at pag-oorganisa ng isang halalan, because a lot of people don't get it, but elections are actually a massive logistical exercise. You're making sure that all of the ballots are getting to the proper places and so on. So maganda kung merong ganyong klaseng abilidad yung ating
of course, the spokesperson James Jimenez, ang daming questions about what the final ballot phase will look like. It depends on who's on the final list of candidates, computerization, campaign guidelines, voting day. But given the way this pandemic has taken a very surprising turn with the Omicron variant, is it possible that we will have more voting via email or virtual voting, or anong mga possible na pwede mangyari para meron pa rin tayong mataas na voter turnout?
Well, sa tingin ko malabo na magkaroon pa tayo ng alternative means of voting, no? I think the ship has sailed for that. Maganda sana kung nagawa yan dati, pero again, hindi nga nagawa ng batas. So, we're going to stick with the in-person voting pa rin.
Okay, pero and then extended voting hours, but you will not consider voting over like 2 to 3 days?
No, we're not looking at multiple days for voting. In fact, voting hours are expected to be around 12 hours, no, from 6 to 6. In some cases, probably around 6 to 7 pa nga, 6 to 7 in the evening. So we will continue with the voting process indefinitely hanggang sa may tao, but we are not planning on holding 2 or 3 days of elections.
So ang kailangan na lang gawin ng tao ay ng mga botante to make sure na hawak na nila mga voter ID, halimbawa voter documents, pag-isipan kung sino iboboto, and to check kung ano yung mga
First on radio, DZKI Iriga welcomes CNN Philippines to bring you the latest news you can use, news you can trust. Listen to Newsnight, weekdays, 6 p.m.
We now go above and beyond the headlines,
followed by Med Talk Health Talk.
We'll talk about how to keep ourselves healthy during the pandemic.
Politics as usual.
In this country, not everything really goes according to plan, and politics is as usual.
Up close and more. Catch CNN Philippines Hour on DZKI Iriga. Weekdays, 6 to 7 p.m.
Loren Legarda po. 18 years akong senador at nagsulong ng mga batas na nakakatulong sa mga nangangailangan. Free college education law. Para sa aming edukasyon. MSME law.
Batas para sa aming kabuhayan.
Climate Change Act.
Mga batas para sa kalikasan at climate change.
Mga batas na ginawa ko na napapakinabangan ngayon. Sana makatulong pa ako sa mas marami.
Loren Legarda.
This is a paid advertisement.
Ringo Honasan po. Sa pagbangon ng mga Pilipino, saludo ako sa mga taong patuloy na humaharap sa hamon ng pagbabago.
Bilang isang ina, handa akong gawin ang lahat para sa kaligtasan ng aking mga anak.
Pandemya man, tuloy pa rin ang serbisyo para malinis ang kapaligiran.
Serbisyong publiko para sa kaligtasan ng lahat.
Sa panahon ng krisis, ikaw, ako, magtulungan tayo. Ringo Honasan po. Saludo ako sa Pilipino.
At Sorter number 11, the Kaiju, Kai Soto.
Kai Soto, bagong basketball star. Sa sipag at tiyaga at sa tulong ng sustansya rap ng Star Margarine, mas abot ni Kai ang pangarap niya.
Kai goes for the shot. Slam dunk!
Puno ng power nutrients na tulong pampatangkad, pampasigla at pampalakas, kasabay ng proper diet at exercise.
Sa Star Margarine, mas abot ko ang pangarap ko.
Libre kong San Miguel beer, basta akin ng Tansan.
Tansan? Sa San Miguel Oktoberfest Instant GCash Panalo Promo, uulan ng up to 100 million pesos in GCash prizes. Buy any San Miguel beer, hanapin ang code sa crown. Kung meron, panalo ka! Iscan ang QR code sa mga posters at Facebook. I-type ang code and win!
Sali na!
Available in areas where allowed. See posters for full details. Promo runs from September 1 to December 31, 2021. Per DOH FDA CFR permit number 0424 series of 2021. Drink responsibly.
CNN Philippines Hour sa RPN-DZKI Iriga, alas 6 hasta alas 7 ng manggi, Lunes hanggang Biyernes. CNN Philippines Hour.